Sheriff Michael McIntosh, McIntosh, the Adams County Sheriff. All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at about 3:30 this morning, we had one of our deputies that was working in our kind of our Thornton district, just around the 88th and Washington area, that had been dispatched to a check well-being, and while he was there on that radio call, he could hear a disturbance in an apartment that was very close to the apartment that he was making contact at. When he finished up with that check the well-being, he went over or close to that adjacent apartment and got on the radio, let our dispatch center know that it sounded like he had a pretty good disturbance going on inside the apartment, and that he was going to wait for cover. Shortly thereafter, the suspect left that apartment. We're not sure whether the suspect knew that the deputy was out there. We don't think that he did. But the suspect left the apartment, saw the deputy, took off running from the deputy. When the deputy got to the suspect, a physical confrontation between the deputy and the suspect ensued, and both of the suspects, the suspect and the deputy, as they were involved in this physical confrontation, it resulted in injuries to the deputy. Both the suspect and the deputy were transported to the hospital. The deputy has received some injuries that we're not real sure, other than head and neck injuries, how much more sustained injuries the deputy has received, and the suspect was pronounced dead there at the hospital. The Adams County Critical Incident Team. So what happens anytime that we have an officer-involved shooting? The Adams County Critical Incident Team is called, and they do the investigation. That team is made up of detectives and crime scene technicians from other agencies within Adams County. So folks like the Thornton Police Department, Westminster Police Department. It also includes Broomfield, because the district attorney's office is involved in that. So the 17th Judicial District is also represented in that investigation. They are the ones that will be doing this investigation. They have been working on that this morning. The information that we have is very, very limited, because we have not had an opportunity to do an interview with the deputy, obviously, because he is still being treated for the injuries that he sustained.
Did you talk to any witnesses that may have helped fill you in on some of the things that happened that you can't talk to the deputy? I mean, were there people in the apartment complex or something that could give you some information?
The information that I've given you is all from witnesses, and they are very, very few. There was the folks that were in the apartment, and being at 3:30 in the morning, there wasn't a whole lot of other witnesses that were available at the time. The team is out doing, or will be doing, what we call a neighborhood canvass. They're going to be going around knocking on doors to see if there's anybody else that saw anything or heard anything that happened this morning.
Did anyone in the apartment where the disturbance, when you heard the disturbance, were they able to give you any idea whether, I mean, did this guy commit a crime, or was he, was he wanted, and that's what maybe made him take off, or he knew that the deputy was going to learn he committed a crime, or anything like that?
We did learn that there was a phone call that was made from inside that apartment to our dispatch center, and this is all happening at about the same time that our deputy gets up to the apartment and advises that he's waiting for cover. So whether the suspect knew that the deputy was there, the suspect probably knew that if there wasn't a deputy there, there would be a deputy there soon.
Sheriff, you're being very forthcoming here today to talk about this. It's very unusual. I mean, is this a new sort of face of the way law enforcement, like, okay, here's what happened, we're going to talk about it? Because a lot of times these things happen and nobody talks for a week, or, did you just want to come out and talk about what you knew so far?
Well, it's important for me to make sure that the community that we serve in unincorporated Adams County and the county as a whole, I think that's, the chiefs of police, they get to run their agencies the way that they want to. But I think that there is a genuine concern by the law enforcement leaders in Adams County that we want to make sure that our community is able to get the information that they need so that they know whether they're safe or they're not safe, if there's reason to believe that we may still have a suspect out on the loose. And when they see that kind of activity in their neighborhoods, I want to make sure that we give them the information that we can. Obviously, in a criminal investigation, there's information that we can give, and there's information that we have to protect because of the investigation. This one being as soon or in the very preliminary stages, there's not a lot of information there, but it's certainly something that we wanted to at least let folks know that it happened, and let folks know that we are working on it. Also to let them know, kind of what happens after an officer-involved shooting, and how it is that crime scene is investigated, who investigates it, and what our procedures are here in Adams County.
Are you releasing the officer's name?
We are not at this time.
I just want to get some clarification on something.
Sure.
So the deputy was responding to a welfare check.
Yes.
From this incident, correct?
Correct.
Happened to hear what's been going on.
Exactly. Yes. Yep. Yeah, responded to a completely different incident.
You mentioned you don't have a...
At what point did he fire his gun?
It was during that struggle, during that physical struggle in the after he had chased the suspect, they get involved in a physical struggle, and it was at that point that he discharged his firearm. We don't really know a whole lot more about the circumstances surrounding that, who was, the positions of the suspect and the deputy, because we have not been able to talk to the deputy.
Can you tell us at least how long the deputy's been on the force, or any idea how long he's been in law enforcement?
I would tell you that he's a senior deputy. He's been with us. I know probably at least 10 years, but I would imagine it's been even longer.
So you say you're unable to talk to him at this moment? Is it because he's not conscious, or is it because he's unable to speak, or can you tell us a little bit more about his condition?
Sure. He is conscious. He's aware of his surroundings. Anytime that a critical incident like this happens, we want to make sure that we take care of the deputy or the officer first. The other thing that we have to make sure that we do is to preserve the integrity of the investigation. We're not going to talk to them at all about the incident, because we want to make sure that that's done according to procedure. So we have folks from the Adams County Sheriff's Office that are at the hospital with the deputy, making sure that we can do whatever that deputy may need, and keep track of that deputy's status. But when it comes to actually asking that deputy questions, that'll be done in a formal setting, and that won't be done until the deputy is released from the hospital.
And that would likely be done in the presence of the critical incident team as well, correct?
Oh, absolutely. They are the ones that will conduct that questioning. Yep.